the truth of the spiritual world is a lie. And I know that sounds kind of paradoxical, but it's true. It's like it's always a lie. And so what's happened in the West is Satan has gotten in through successfully conflating Christianity with self-serving Christianity. So he's conflated worship of self with worship of Christ. And so you can't have two masters. And that's exactly what the church in America has done. And that's when you get into, I'm not one of these guys who just says, certain pastors, I'm going to call them by name. It's like the Olsteins, the Duplanises, the people who they get up there and every week their goal is to make you feel good about yourself. Yep. and to use God and Christ as kind of a cosmic genie who is there purely to give you what you want in a carnal consideration, not spiritual. So they focus a lot on health, physical health and physical wealth and your home and your car and your success and your business and all this, that's not the thread that's in the Bible. And I think when you mix conflation of self-serving and Christ, and then you also take biblical literacy at the highest it's probably ever been in the history of the church, then you have a recipe for satanic worship without knowing it. And I think the thing that's most scary about that is you have all these verses in the Bible. Jesus in Luke 6:46, why do you call me Lord, Lord, and don't do the things that I say? Or Matthew 7, many are going to call me Lord on that day, and they're going to tell me all that they did, but I'm going to say I never knew you, and I'm going to throw you into a place of disobedience. Luke 12, if I return and I do not find you doing what you're doing, I'll chop you up into pieces and assign you a place with the unbelievers. We should pay attention. These verses demand our attention, because they're frightening and they're scary, but they're not meant to be. They're more meant to be warnings about how the devil will deceive you. And so I think what we're missing is just a real biblical view of the devil, a biblical view of the demonic realm, and a biblical view of just the gospel and Christianity. We got to understand that, like Paul, when you look at Paul and John and Peter, were they walking around shuddering and worrying about encounters with demons? No, they absolutely weren't, because they were so full of the Spirit, so full of an understanding of the power they had in Christ, that demons became a secondary, possibly even tertiary consideration that didn't even bother them. Look at when the possessed girl was following Paul around. Did he shudder and get scared and consult with his group and say, what should we do? No, he just got annoyed one day and turned around and said, get out. And the demon was gone. It was like a mosquito. I mean, it wasn't even a big deal. We have made it such a big deal, and that's kind of what Hollywood has done, what entertainment has done. It's made the demonic realm something incredibly frightening. And then when you look at a lot of these horror movies, what happens? The priest comes in to fight the demon, and the demon gets the best of the priest. And so it's kind of like you're always looking at this demonic realm as way more powerful than it really is. And that's another deceptive measure. And in the West, we all walk around afraid of this boogeyman under the bed, the demonic world, when the Bible goes through great extents to make it, don't worry about these things. I have given you all authority, and I'm with you always. And so when we really know who we are in Christ, we understand the gospel, the demonic realm, even if you come up against it as directly as I have, you have this boldness in you because you know who you are in Christ. Mm-hmm. And I think the problem is if we don't know who we are in Christ, then we're going to fear. And then when we fear, we've given the devil a foothold. Now he can get into our life in a million different ways. And that might be through lust. It might be through greed. It might be through overt fear. It might be through a million different ways, but we don't have our spiritual antennas up to know when we're encountering the demonic or the devil. We think, oh, good, look at this blessing that's fallen on me. That blessing that you're calling a blessing might actually be something purposed to separate you from Christ, because now you're going to be all about this promotion. You're going to be all about this car. You're going to be all about this house. We are just so deceived. And that's the thing that this burdens me down, is like, we have to get back to a biblical understanding of demons, the devil, and our salvation. And our salvation is powerful,